Wizard, do you think it's better to make buildings with interiors or make a building facade and have its interior be someplace else? Um, I mean, I think for playability's sake, uh, it probably, I think there's probably only one answer, which is that like don't bother with interiors. Now, I don't follow my own guide in that sense, only because I enjoy sometimes making interiors. But I'll be the first to admit that it's not generally going to see them as much play. Like a building, how would I put this? Like when you're talking about building interiors, the building itself represents almost infinite possibility, right? If I set a little temple building that I made down on the table, that can be representative of a quaint little, you know, building on the side of a hill. That could be represented. That could be in a town. That could be the hidden entrance to this underground layer. The outside building can be used for infinite purposes. As soon as I make an interior to that building, the exterior is still infinitely flexible, but that interior kind of is one thing. So as much as I like doing it, like it's really fun knowing that like I have an interior and I'd like to use it in these certain kind of specific situations. Generally speaking, like folks like once your players go inside of a place, it's so much easier to say, okay, great. Now here is the situation. Here's the map. Here's the terrain. Here's what represented. Because it's probably, like I said, it's going to be different each time you use it. You're going to want a different interior because of that infinite possibility on the outside. But also, like, you're going to probably want more space. And I think players are totally fine with that's the building, but now you step inside and here's the representation. So I think that's probably like I think that's the right answer to the question. Um, but I still love making interiors to not every structure that I have even has one, but it's really fun to do. But that's mostly for me, not for some ideal state of playability. Um, it's just because it's really fun to craft things that way. It's really fun to build it, and I will say this, in those situations that are probably bespoke and maybe only one size type of situation, like a magic shop that you actually build the exterior and the interior, that might only work for a specific one shot or an encounter or something that maybe you come back to and use in different ways again and again. But that's going to be a really fun one shot. That's going to be a really fun encounter. But I have a hard time. I'm never going to advise anybody do that because like that's a lot of effort for something you're not going to be able to use as much. It's not as modular, sort of by definition. Um, Modular interiors are totally possible. Right? I think of like back to RP Archive. Probably already has that. I could probably put up a picture of RP Archive's system and show how like modular interior buildings is totally a thing. Um, Not something that I've found a way to, or even necessarily desire for. I just sort of bite the bullet and say, if I'm making an interior, it's for kind of one purpose. I'll probably be able to like use it in a couple of different ways creatively, but I know what I'm accepting when I do that. I know what I'm going to get at the end of that project, take, and um, that it's going to be less modular, and that's okay because again, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of making it, if I'm going to bother to do it at least, and that's worth a lot. I think we should enjoy making all of this stuff ultimately.